Petrol prices in the United States have soared to record highs after Joe Biden announced that the country would stop accepting imports of Russian oil, gas and energy. You can see big queues at petrol stations with prices a few cents cheaper than neighbouring ones. It's led to anger and concern as consumers already strapped for cash are forced to take on more work in order to make ends meet.
This is just ridiculous. It's crazy. Have to put in some extra hours at work, but that just snowballs into extra childcare.
For a lot of other people, 100, 200 bucks a month, 300 bucks a month if you're commuting, a lot further. It obviously does have a severe impact, the economic impact on a lot of people.
It sucks. Like, we're suffering the price for something that's happening in another country.
This is really affecting everything, and it's a trickle-down effect. When gas goes up, it just trickles down to the consumer. It affects grocery prices, everything, Amazon. The price goes up, and it's just really hitting people in the pocketbook.
Some Americans are pointing the finger of blame squarely at Biden, with a new trend making fun of their president popping up at petrol stations in the form of stickers showing Biden pointing at the high prices with the caption, "I did that," as well as comparing the cost of petrol under Trump with those under their current leader. However, US Democrats are laying all the blame on the Russian president, saying the conflict in Ukraine is solely responsible for the soaring petrol prices.
Putin's tax, that's really Putin's gas hike. That's his gas hike.
No matter what we do on imports of Russian oil, the person responsible for inflation at the gas pump is Vladimir Putin. It's his war.
I think they're hurting Americans. Of course, though, a lot of the oil prices are going up, not because of the conflict, but because of price gouging by the oil companies that are using the conflict as an excuse to do that. But the truth is they are going up, and the American people are going to be hurt. Working people, poor people. But again, the oil companies are going to get rich. The defense contractors are going to get rich. And that seems to be all that Biden and the Congress want. They're going to engorge the rich and they're going to bleed the poor. And that's what's been happening for years. So it's really business as usual. This sanctions regime is not calculated to hurt Russian leaders or to curb Russia's actions. It is calculated to hurt the Russian people so that they will act against their government. In the process, it's going to hurt people in Europe. It's going to hurt people in the United States. And so I think they are counterproductive, at least from the point of view of, real human beings, as opposed to, huge multinational corporations that are going to make a killing from all this.
The EU, in coordination with the G7 leading economies, plans to impose a fourth package of heavy economic sanctions against Russia over the conflict in Ukraine. The move was announced by the European Commission's president at a press conference following an EU summit in Versailles.
So today, we, the European Union and our partner in the G7, continue to work in lockstep to ramp up the economic pressure against the Kremlin. Tomorrow, we will take a fourth package of measures to further isolate Russia and drain the resources it uses to finance this barbaric war.
The new sanctions will remove benefits that Russia has enjoyed as a member of the World Trade Organization, as well as target Russian elites that are close to Vladimir Putin, preventing them from using cryptocurrencies to circumvent related restrictions. The measures will also prohibit Russia from receiving imports of luxury goods from the EU and stop Russia from exporting iron and steel to the bloc. They'll also outlaw European investments in Russia's energy sector. Former Austrian Foreign Minister Karin Kneisel believes these sanctions will affect not only Russia, but the whole world.
Well, we have seen over the last 3 weeks, actually, that the market prices reflect this tremendous uncertainty that the sanctions have been causing. And this was to be expected. Maybe the volume has surprised some, but it goes far beyond the energy market. It goes far beyond the price hikes that we have seen in the oil and gas market. It also considers food prices. What was to be expected, of course, is a galloping inflation. So this goes far beyond now the European Union or the US. It affects a country on a global level. The fact that Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and the Foreign Minister of Ukraine, Mr. Kuleba, met in Antalya is already a little tiny, whatever you can call it, success in itself, because there was a physical meeting. We have to keep up all sorts of channels, all sorts of diplomatic talks. Maybe this meeting at the margins of Antalya can somehow start, and I'm really just thinking in tiny, tiny steps, of rebuilding something like trust, because trust is the key word. And we are right now in the fog of war, and there has to be some sort of contact. There has to be every channel used.